Okay, here we go. I'm going to go over these one more time just to make sure we got them. Number one, it says write in slope-intercept form, which means I need to leave y by itself, so I subtract 6x, subtract 6x. Yes? I'm left with 2y equals negative 6x plus 12. Are we there so far? From there, divide by 2, which leaves me with y equals negative 3x plus 6. Are we there so far? However, since we're graphing, the slope has to be what? Over in fraction form or over 1. There it is. Let's graph this. Where do I start? At positive 6 of y, which is right there. What is my slope? 3 down, 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. Plot your point. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. Plot your point and graph your line. Remember, the more points you graph or you plot, the straighter your line, just like mine. Did I just wrap? Let's go. Because in December I become a rapper. You guys know that? Be nice. No, because we make tamales every December. I'm the rapper. We wrap the tamales? Wow. Next, find the slope. Number 2. M equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Are we there so far? Then the next step is very imperative. Minus and minus. If you're not doing those two minuses, you're making a mistake. Step 3, you need to label this. X sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So let's see, what is y sub 2? Y sub 2 is 3, y sub 1 is negative 1 in parentheses. X sub 2 is negative 4, and x sub 1 is negative 2 in parentheses. So let's see, negative times a negative becomes a positive, and this one also a positive. So let's see, m equals, what is 3 plus 1? That's 4. What is negative 4 plus 2? That's negative 2. So, what is 4 divided by negative 2? Negative 2, but in fraction form, over 1. Hands if you got that. Okay, good. Let's go over number 3. Number 3. For number 3, we have fractions all over the place. We need to get rid of the fractions, so we need to find a common denominator for 3, 5, and 10. What is our common denominator? 30. So I distribute the 30 here, 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 and there. Yes? So that becomes 30x plus 60 over 3 minus 30x over 5 equals 30x plus 60 over 10. So far so good? Let's simplify. Let's see. What is 30x divided by 3? That's 10x. 60 divided by 3, that's 20. Negative 30x divided by 5, that's negative 6x equals 3x plus 6. Are we there so far? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. Combine like terms. What is 10x minus 6x? 4x plus 20 equals 3x plus 6. Now that we can't simplify anymore on each side, we get all variables to one side. What's the smallest variable? So I subtract 3x. I'm left with x plus 20 equals 6. And my last step, minus 20. Therefore, x equals negative 14. And we got that. Okay, good. All right. Let's go to number 4. Number 4. I need to leave the absolute value by itself, so that means I need to add 5, okay? So I end up with absolute value x plus 7 is less than 1. Are we there so far? Is the absolute value by itself already? Yes, so here we do two inequalities, one for negative 1 and one for positive 1. When we write the negative number here, we need to flip the inequality symbol and write whatever is inside the absolute value. This one is x plus 7 less than positive 1. Let's solve. Minus 7, x is greater than negative 8. minus 7 minus 7, x less than negative 6. Let's graph this. All right, I'm going to start with negative 8. Negative 8 is right there. It's an open point. Before I graph, I need to find out which direction. I need to test at points. Which point do I test? 0. Is 0 greater than negative 8? Yes, that's true. That means I'm going to shade towards the 0. There you go. Next, I got negative 6. Open point. I'm going to test the point again. I'm going to test 0. Is 0 less than negative 6? No, that's false. That means I'm not shading towards 0. I'm shading the opposite direction, which means I'm going that way. Do the two of them overlap? Yes, this is an and. Therefore, my solution set, here we go, solution set of x such that negative 8 less than x less than negative 6. And have we got that? Okay. Hope all are good? And the last one, last but not least, number 5, which is this red line. They want us to find the x-intercept. Where's the x-intercept? Where the line crosses the x-axis, right there. So that is what? 3, 0. The y-intercept, it crosses right here. So what is my y-intercept? 0, negative 2. Hands if you got that. All right, hands if you got all 5 of them. 4. Okay, not bad. Now check this out. I want you to go to your study guide and I want you to check your work on all of these. Those are straight from the study guide. Yeah. Number 3 was number 16. Number 4 was number 27. Number 5 was 35. Is that correct? Number 1 is number 36. And number 2 is number 37. Check your work on all of them to make sure that you got them. So we're done with 5 of them from the home play. Let's go. I'm telling you I got these. Okay. Check your work, please. All right, so let's continue with the study guide. Let's continue. We're going to be on number 21. Is that correct? All right, so get that in front of you. Get a blank sheet of paper. If you see that you got it incorrect, copy the answer, the correct answer, and then work on it at home to see where you made a mistake. Now, some of you left blank, then therefore make sure you you follow along as I'm going through the example. Okay. All right, here we go. Go to number 21. Here we go. It says, Paulina is saving money to buy a bike. How many people are they talking about? 1. So automatically you do 1 line down, 1 across to get organized. Yes? We're going to label this one P for Paulina and here for total. Focus, please. So let's figure out what Paulina is going to buy. She's going to buy a bike. And what is the total cost of the bike? $280. So that goes here in the total, $280. Okay. Now let's see what else information do they give us. Paulina has $60 saved. So what does that mean? That right now she has what? Plus $60. What else? Each week she adds $11 to her savings. Add means what? Plus $11 per week. Do we know how many weeks? No, so we write 11x. Do you guys see the equation now? All right, so we write 11x plus 60 equals 280. So let's solve. Line down the equal sign, minus 60 minus 60. 11x equals 220. Last step, divide by 11. X equals, how many times does 11 fit into 22? 2, bring down to 0. Am I done? No, let's write a statement. How long will it take her to save enough money to buy the bike? It takes Paulina 20 weeks to save enough for the bike. 10Q. Make sure you write your statement for all word problems. If not, I'm docking a point. Please, pretty please, with a cherry on top. Yes? Hands if you got that by yourself. Now, once again, I do want to see an equation. Even if you don't make a table like this, I want to see an equation. I don't want you just showing me work like multiplying times 11, how many times, or whatever the case. I want to see an equation. If you don't show me an equation, I'm docking you points. Right now, you should be able to translate it. Go to number 22. Make a note. For numbers 22, 23, and 24, you need to use proportions. Proportions. What does that mean? A fraction equals to another fraction. That's what I want to see. Numbers 22, 23, and 24. So let's see. This one is involving percents. Do you know a proportion that I gave you for that? Yeah. Is over of equals equals percent over 100. Does that sound familiar? Yes, Mr. Q. All right, good. Blank over blank equals blank over 100. All right, so let's see. What do they give us? Of 83, where does that one go? On the bottom. Is 196. That goes on top, 196. So therefore, we're looking for what? The percent. So we're going to label that X. Does it come back? Yes? Yes, Mr. Q. All right, good. Cross multiply. This is 83X equals 19,600. Lastly, we divide by 83. Divide by 83. X, let's find out. 19600 divided by 83. How many times does it fit in 296? 2 times 166. Subtract, that's 30. Bring down to 0. This one fits in there how many times? 3. That's 249. Subtract, that's 51. Bring down to 0. That fits in there how many times? 6. That's 498. That leaves us with 12. Is that correct? Add a decimal and a 0. Bring it down. All right. How many times does it fit in there? Once. So let's see. That's 83. Subtract. That leaves us with 37. Add another 0. Bring it down. How many times does it fit in there? 4. That's 332, and so on and so forth. However, I'm going to stop there because they want us to round it to the nearest tenth. What's the tenth? This one right here. Does that one stay a 1 or does it go up to a 2? Stays a 1 because this one is not more than 5. So that means our percentage is approximately, put the wiggles like this, 236.1%. Am I done? No. Let's write out the words. Let's write 196 is approximately 236.1% of 83. 10Q. Once again, you need a statement, yes? Hands if you got that, by the way. Okay. Hands if you wrote a proportion, by the way. Okay, good. Yeah, because on these, remember in 7th and 6th grade, they showed you how to do it just by dividing or multiplying times the decimal. I don't want that. I want you to show me the proportion. Okay? All right, let's continue. Number 23, Michael Jordan. It says, the scale on a map of California shows that 1 inch represents 25 miles. The actual distance from El Centro to San Diego is 125 miles. On the map, how many inches apart are the two cities? So, once again, this is number 23. I want a what? A proportion. What does that mean? A fraction equal to another fraction. So how can I make this information into a fraction? 1 over 25. But keep organized. The 1 stands for inch, and the 25 stands for what? Miles. Just make sure you label it so you can keep organized. Therefore, let's read the rest. The actual distance from El Centro to San Diego is 125 miles. Where should I place that, on top or on the bottom? On the bottom, because the miles go on the denominator, so that's 125. Therefore, what do I write here? Everyone. X. So therefore, cross multiply, that's 25x equals 125. Let's solve. Divide by 25, divide by 25. X equals 5. Am I done? No, we need to answer the question in a statement. On the map, how many inches apart are the two cities? The two cities are 5 inches apart. 10 feet. And if you want to add more, like on the map or whatever the case. Hands if you got that. Hands if you use a proportion. Okay, I want to see a proportion, please. I don't want you to be good, because we can do these in the noodle, right? I can actually go to 3rd grade and have them figure out this one just by doubling, and so on and so forth. All right. Let's go to number 23 plus 1. Here we go. This one actually tells you use a proportion. Let's see. A building is 100 meters tall and casts a shadow of 40 meters long. Who can give me a fraction for that? Everyone. 160 over 40. And let's label this. This is tall and this is shadow. And it's going to be equal to another fraction, yes? All right, so then let's see what else it says. At the same time, a tree casts a shadow that is 6 meters tall. Where does that go? 6 meters long. On the denominator, because that's where the shadow goes. So it goes right there. So that means what goes on top? X. Let's cross multiply and solve. This is 40x equals 960. We good? Let's solve. Divide by 40. Divide by 40. My goodness, why? Didn't get the attention. X equals. Let's get rid of some zeros. What is 96 divided by 4? 4 fits into 9 2 times. 1 left over. 4 into 16 4 times. Am I done? No, we need to answer the question. How tall is the tree? The tree is 24 meters tall. 10 cubed. Hands if you got that. Okay. Hands if you use a proportion. Good. Once again, if you're not using the proportion, I'm going to dock you points. Just letting you know. Go to number 25. It says, Jasmine joins a fitness club that has an initial fee of $80 plus monthly fee of $25. Jason's club charges $20 initial fee plus $35 a month. How many months will the clubs cost the same? So how many people are they talking about? 2. So I'm going to do 2 lines down. 1, 2, and 1 across. The first one is for Jasmine's club. I'm just going to write J. And the second one for Jason's club, I'm going to write JS. And here the total. So I need to write an expression for Jasmine's club. How much do they charge from the very beginning? 60. 80. So that's plus 80. How much do they charge each month? $25. But since we don't know how many months, we're going to write 25x. So, what would be an expression for Jason? Justin, go. Hands if you got that. Okay, that is correct. So now, what is the key information here? It's in the question. It says, in how many months will the clubs cost the same? What's another word for same? Equal. So that means we're going to write this one equal to that right here. 25x plus 80 equal to 35x plus 20. It's all. Can we simplify either side? No. What's the smallest variable? 25. So I subtract 25x, subtract 25x. We're left with 80 equals 10x plus 20. Are we there so far? Minus 20 minus 20. We got 60 equals 10x. And lastly, divide by 10. 60 divided by 10 is 6 equals x. Am I done? No, let's write the statement. In how many months will the clubs cost the same? The clubs will cost the same in 6 months. 10Q. Now check this out. On this one, they don't ask us how much will it be. But if I was to ask you, look up please. If I was to ask you how much will it be for both clubs at 6 months, tell your neighbor what you would need to do at that point. Tell your neighbor what you need to do at that point. Let's see. Natalia. Oh. You would what? You would plug in. What does that mean? To charge it? Oh, you would substitute. Oh, yes. You would substitute x for 6 and then simplify. All right. Yes, and that's how we can figure out how much it is. So this is $230. Yeah? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. Let's move on. Number 26. Number 26, it says solve, graph, and write a solution set for the inequality. I'm going to zoom in. Here we go. Line down the inequality symbol. Whoa, that's sorry. Line down the inequality symbol. Distribute. That is 12 plus 3y less than 2y plus 6. Are we there so far? All right. Smallest variable. Are you guys all right? Minus 2y minus 2y. And we're left with 12 plus y less than 6 in my last step. Minus 12 minus 12. Y less than negative 6. Am I done? No, I need to graph this. 0. Dividing point is negative 6. It's an open point. Before I graph, what do? I need to check a point. Which point is the one I usually check? 0. So let's substitute in here. Is 0 less than negative 6? No, that's false. So that means I'm not going to shade towards 0. That means I'm going to shade the opposite direction, that way. And what is the last thing? Solution set. Solution set of y such that, what was my last inequality? Y less than negative 6. Hands if you got that. Now, don't raise your hand if you didn't check. Here it goes again. Work, solution, check, graph, and solution set. Hands if you got that. Okay, good. Yes. Once again, don't forget to check, because some of you are making still mistakes on the graphing because you don't check a point. Okay? Go to number 27. Number 27. Oh, we already did that one, yeah? That was number 3. Number 3 of the warm-up. So I already. Oh, it was number 4. Oh my goodness. Number 4 of the warm-up. Check your work on the warm-up. I recorded it at the beginning. Let's go to number 28. All right, here it goes. It says, what is the third term of the sequence defined by the recursive rule? All right. I know. It says, what is the third term? So they want the third term. So look up, please. First, let me explain what we see here. Look up. First of all, this first part is not part of the rule. This, they're telling you that this is the first term. What is the rule then? F of n equals 3 times f of n minus 1 minus 5. This is the rule we're going to use. Okay, so then they want which term? The third term. In order to find the third term, I need the first two. Do they give us the first two? No, they just give us the first one. That means I'm going to make a table, and f of n, once again, if you didn't get this, make sure you're writing it down. And I'm going to write my first term. What is my first term? Is 25. So now I need to find what? The second term. And then from there I need to find the third term. So, let's do the work. Here we go. So to find the second term, I need to use this rule, f of n, but instead of n, what goes there? What's my next value? F of 2. So I'm going to write f of 2 equals 3 times f of 2 minus 1 minus 5. F of 2 equals 3 times f of, what is 2 minus 1? 1 minus 5. Now check this out. Once I subtract it here, the next step is to substitute. Look up, please. What is f of 1? 25. That goes right there. I bring everything else down. F of 2 equals 3 times 25 minus 5. F of 2 equals 75 minus 5. What is 75 minus 5? 70. And that goes right there. Interesting, right? So why do we need to use the previous? So notice here I used the previous term. If I'm working on 2, I needed number 1. You guys notice that? That's why it's called recursive. That you need the previous one. So let's go to the next one. What is the one that they're asking me for? They're asking me for f of 3 equals 3 times f of 3 minus 1 minus 5. F of 3 equals 3 times f of, what is 3 minus 1? That's 2. At this point, I need to substitute because I already subtracted. So what is f of 2? It's right there. It's 70. Therefore, f of 3 equals 3 times 70 minus 5. F of 3 equals 210 minus 5, which is 205, and that goes right there. So let's look at the information. Find the third term. So even though we showed all of these, which was the only one that they needed? The third one, the 205. So make sure at the end just box it, just so that I'm aware that that's the one that we were looking for. We good? Okay, number 29. It says, a sequence has an explicit rule of f of n equals n cubed minus 5. Find the first 3 terms of the sequence. So on this one, who notices that it doesn't have f of n minus 1? It doesn't have it because it's not a recursive rule. This is an explicit. What does that mean? That this is probably the easiest rules that you are going to get. But you still need a table. N, f of n. And this time they don't give us a term, so we need to find the term. So we need the first term, the second term, and the third term. And all you have to do is substitute values and compute. So what is my first value? 1. So I write what? F of 1 equals 1 cubed minus 5. What is 1 cubed? Oh, sorry. 1. What is 1 minus 5? Negative 4. That goes right there. Okay, I'm done with the first one. Let's go with the next one. Next value is what? 2. So I write f of 2 equals 2 cubed minus 5. F of 2, what is 2 cubed? What is 8 minus 5? 3. And that goes right there. And I'm down to the last one. What's my last one? F of 3. F of 3 equals 3 cubed minus 5. F of 3 equals, what is 3 cubed? 27 minus 5, which is 22. We good? Notice that this one's just straightforward. You just compute and that's it. You get the values. All right? Move on, number 30. Here we go. This one, number 30, they're asking us for the next three numbers in the sequence. Now we can get, we can get those numbers without even any computation. I can take these two elementary kids and they can find it. Are you in elementary? That means you need to use a formula to find me the sequence. Because if you find me the three next terms and you don't give me the formula, you get minus 4 points on this one. Just letting you know. So let's see. Let's find out the rule first. Here it goes. I'm going to show you how to find the explicit rule. Everybody ready? What do we need? First, let's label how many terms we have. We have term 1, 2, 3, and 4. What do we need to find my rule? I need the first term, and I need the pattern. What is the pattern? What's happening from here to here to here to here? Minus 15. So those two pieces of information I need. So watch. I'm going to write my rule. F of n equals. I write my first term. What is my first term? 100. What is my pattern? Minus 15. And at the end, you just end it with n minus 1. It's that simple. First term, the pattern, and n minus 1. Now that we have this, which terms do we need? We already have the first four. How many more do we need? We need number 5, 6, and 7. So let's see. So I'm going to do the work over here. Instead of f of n, what do I write next? F of 5. F of 5 equals 100 minus 15 times 5 minus 1. F of 5 equals 100 minus 15 times 4. F of 5 equals 100 minus 60. What is 100 minus 60? 40. That goes right there. So you're like, I got it. Well, of course you got it, because you can just follow the pattern. But did you show me this work? If you didn't, that's a 0. Next, what would be my next value? F of 6 equals 100 minus 15 times 6 minus 1. F of 6 equals 100 minus 15 times 5. F of 6 equals 100 minus 75. What is 100 minus 75? 25. And the last one, F of 7 equals 100 minus 15 times 7 minus 1. F of 7 equals 100 minus 15 times 6. F of 7 equals 100 minus 90, because 15 times 6 is 90. So what is 100 minus 90? 10. And there you go. Now let's do like elementary kids do. Let's see. Minus 15, 55 minus 15, that's 40. What is 40 minus 15? And 25 minus 15? Oh yeah, it did work. All right, so to number 31. It says, a cup is filled with 64 ounces of tea. Every minute, 4 ounces of tea are sipped out of the cup. Write a function that shows the amount of iced tea in the cup after t seconds. Notice here they change it from minutes to seconds. Well, let's first write our function. They want a what? A function. So watch what I write. F of t. Did I write f of x? No, because they wanted in t in using the variable t. How much tea do they have to begin with? 64. And then every minute, 4 ounces are sipped out. What does it mean sipped out? Minus 4 t. We're not using the x. Are we there? All right, let's solve this. To solve this, they want to find out when the cup is what? Where's it at? Empty. What does that mean? when it's equal to what? So 0 equals 64 minus 14. Let's solve. Minus 64 minus 64. Negative 64 equals negative 14. Lastly, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. 64 divided by 4 is 16 equals t. But this is in what? Minutes. Do they want it in minutes?
No.
They want it in what?
No.
So what can we do to this to find out the seconds? How many seconds in a minute? 60. So we multiply at the end times what? 60. So that gives us 0.69 equals t. So that means the cup will empty in 960 seconds. 10 Q. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yes, Mr. Q. Number 32. All right. It says graph the function using that domain. So let's see. First of all, to graph, what did I say to do to this equation first? Solve for y. So add 2x, add 2x. We have y equals 2x minus 6. However, now they give us a domain to use. So on the side, you're going to write x and y. So what is the domain? Negative 2, 0, 2. So what's the first value I'm going to substitute in for x? Negative 2. So that is y equals 2 times negative 2 minus 6. Y equals negative 4 minus 6, which is negative 10. Let me finish this one up. Next one. Y equals 2 times 0, because that's the next value, minus 6. What is y equals 0 minus 6? So that is negative 6. And lastly, y equals 2 times 2 minus 6. Y equals 4 minus 6. So y equals negative 2. Let's graph this. Let's see. Negative 2, negative 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. 0, negative 6. And 2, negative 2. 2, negative 2. All right. But check this out. Look what it says. Why do you not connect the points on the graph? What do you guys think? Ivana. Because it's not a constant rate. In this case, they only asked us to use what? That specific domain. That's why we don't connect anything in between. They only want us to use what? Negative 2, 0, and 2. So then here you just write, because they asked to use a specific domain, 10Q. All right. Hold on. Let me just double check the rest. That was 32. 33, we've done these, but this I'm going to do during tutoring. 33. 34 is very similar to the one we did on the previous one. We'll get to that also in tutoring. 35 was number 5 on the warm-up. Check that work. 36 was number 1 on the warm-up. And 37 was number 2 on the warm-up. Yes? So during tutoring, I'm going to finish the other ones that I didn't finish in class. For tonight, do study guide B. I gave you the code at the beginning for Nearpod, right? You to copy it? All right, let's copy it. Yay! Here we go. Let's see. BIVCR. That's study guide B. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your home play. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.